Hey guys, what's going on? I believe I finally got it fixed. Let's see if it's here. Let's see here. So, hey, we're here. Finally, I fixed it. All right. Can you guys hear me clearly? Let me know if you can hear me, and then I'll begin. It seems like they changed my code, so I wasn't capable of seeing it, and got me a little nervous, but I'm good now. All right. So, let's get this done. All right. So, first things first, I just want to say thank you so much for joining this class. My wife, Giselle, will be monitoring the chat. And so if you see, is Giselle Godoy on there, right? Yeah, so if you see Giselle Godoy, it's her. She's going to be helping you guys as well. And I'm gonna be going through the first class right now. All right. So, by show of likes, by show of likes, how many people are here? If you're here, press the like button. If you haven't signed up for our class yet, like so for the homework and stuff, please let me know so I can give you the link for the homework. And we're going to begin in about 60 seconds. All right, so today we're going to be talking about the first course of our 36 part, all right? It's 36 parts of this course coming up. It's the 90-day book challenge, all right? Some of you are authors who is the first time you're going to try to write your book, right? And some of you already wrote books, but you hit a wall, you know? So that's what this course is about. But first, I have to tell you who I am, right? Because a lot of you just don't know who I am yet. As far as you're concerned, all you saw was an ad saying that I've done good things, right? Whoop-de-doo. So let's go into this right now. First thing is, who am I? So my name is Manuel Godoy, right? I am a military veteran. I was in the army for about 6 years. Did tours in Germany as a radar technician. I had a good time. I love the military. Yeah, I'm one of those hardcore military brats. A lot of family in the military, and it's helped me a lot in and outside of service. I also am a husband and a father, right? I have two children, Maury and Valencia. See that theme with Maury's Family Adventures? But for you guys, the most important thing about me is that I'm an award-winning publisher for the comic book company Black Sands Entertainment. Now, here's a couple of cool, interesting facts about me. In the last 2 years, all right, in the last 2 years, I've raised $110,000 across four campaigns on Kickstarter. All right, that means I did crowdfunding four times successfully and raised over $110,000 in order to create and continue the series Black Sands, The Seven Kingdoms, and Maury's Family Adventures. Now, that feat alone is impressive, right? That's a cool thing. I know a whole bunch of you would love to crowdfund your next products, but these are things I'm going to try to teach you during this course. I also last year, which is our first year in business, for Black Sands Entertainment, I sold 15,000 books. All right. In the summer of 2018, uh, basically, Publishers Weekly wrote about us and basically said that because we sold so many books, we're like basically the company to watch in the indie world, right? Because indies technically don't usually sell this much, especially without major endorsements and spotlights on television and stuff. I never got any of that stuff. All I did was basically market on social media, reach my core fan base, which is African American parents, and sold directly to them. Lastly, we gifted some books to Michelle Obama in the American Library Association, and she actually received them. We were wondering if she received them, right? We were like, "Oh man, I hope she got them because we left those gifts for her, with the staff. I hope they gave it to her." And like about a month later, we got a random letter in the mail, and it was from um, Obama's office, and she wrote a letter to us thanking us for the books, saying that she really appreciated and thought that the books were awesome. It was written to Giselle too, because she's the one that wrote the letter from us to her. And so she was responding to her, and she was just like, "I'm so glad that you're teaching the next generation of movers, shakers, and doers, you know, and that your company is having great success, and you have my best wishes." Now that mess made me feel real some kind of way, because I tell you, man, it's crazy to get a letter like that in the mail with her signature on it from her office talking about you specifically, and that right there, was the wildest thing, and one thing I could say honestly is that I just can't believe. Okay, let me see this one. I think this is the link from somebody else, so I'm gonna let them put that up. But I just can't believe that happened, and so many things has happened over the last 2 years that I just think that it's time for me, Manuel Godoy, and my wife Giselle to give back to the black community. Now, how are we going to do that, right? We do go to schools, right? We do book tours. We do special stuff all the time. But this right here, this is about economic responsibility and having more creators out there in the open, because there's just not enough of us. I go to a convention and there's like 3 to 4 black artists and authors in the entire artist alley. Artist alley is like 100, 200 different vendors, and there's only 3 or 4 of us, right? That's a huge problem. So what I'm trying to do is get you guys to be good enough to not only go to these shows but excel, right? So if we excel, we're gonna have amazing things done. So basically, that's what we're going to be focusing on, right? Now, let's go into this. There are two type of students for me, all right? This is for me. This is not for you. This is actually the way I see students. Um, there is the aspiring student, right? And there is the forgotten student. Now, what I'm going to do is uh, I'm gonna focus on as the aspiring student first, right? So the aspiring student is a student who has never published a book before, right? They tend to have a lot of ideas. These are people who have extreme amount of ideas, you know, but they're easily distracted. Now, I know a lot of you guys in this class right here, you probably got distracted before. Like you probably wanted to write a book before, or you were making a comic or something, but then you got distracted, or or you ended up making too many different things and never actually finished one particular thing, right? So what we're going to try to do with you guys is keep you focused, keep you focused on one winner that you chose, and get that one done, right? That's my goal. That's what I'm going to be focused on the most in these next couple of courses. And then we have the forgotten, right? The forgotten are people who have published work, so they have done it, they finished something, right? But they hit a wall. They hit a wall somewhere, either financially, emotionally, or something like that, right? They just hit something that stopped them from growing. Uh, at this point, they're stuck. They're lacking ideas anymore because they don't know what to do to get over that wall, right? And they're losing their ambition, right? One is very ambitious, and the other one is losing their ambition. So for the people who are in that situation where they published something, but they're basically stuck, right? They don't know what to do next. What I'm going to be focused on with them is to teach them all the tricks of indie publishing to eventually get that momentum back up and start they can start actually monetizing their work again and having success. Sometimes their work is exceptional and they just don't know how to monetize it correctly, or they don't know how to advertise it, or set up a message that people will respond to. So I'm here for you guys, and this is really like something that we're going to be working on deeply. Now, I'm going to take some people's. Uh, I'm going to look at some of the comments right now to see who's aspiring and who's somebody in the forgotten side, and what do they think one of these particular things might be affecting them, right? One of these things might be blocking them from success. So let me know if you have any of those things on you right now. All right, I'm looking through. Specs Vision says distraction. New baby on the way. Well, that's a super distraction right there. I don't know if we can help with that one. Baby's a hardcore. Let's do. Let's see. Allegra Prince says, I'm definitely easy distracted, especially with new baby. It's hard to sit down and get. Wow, so we have a whole bunch of people with some babies. That's pretty cool. What do you think about that? That's pretty dope, right? Let's see. See, I got somebody who's a mixture of both. Sagia Smiley says a mixture of both. They have made something, but they're still super happy about making new things. So that's cool. That's perfect. If you're both, you have the most likeliness to not only succeed in this course, but excel and eventually live off of your talents, right? Because somebody who's made stuff, hit a wall, and still like wants to keep going, that's somebody that can be easily trained, right? Because they're like, I have to do whatever I have to do to move forward. So I'm cheering for you. All right. Let's see what else. Mm. Some people hit emotional walls. That can be happen. Let's see what else. Uh, one person admitted they had a million ideas. That's sometimes a million ideas can be really like destructive. Because we can't possibly do everything, especially when we don't have the manpower yet. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what else. All right. So Smiley gave us the exact reason why, right? Uh, let's see. Is that a girl or a male? I can't tell because the picture. But it says, I have one book published for free, and trying to build my readers is hard, and I'm moving into making money out of it. All right. So this is a very specific situation, right? Already have a book out. It's free, right? Trying to get more readers is hard, right? These are very specific things that we can fix, right? It's easy to fix stuff when it's specific. As we're going through these courses, I need all of you to think specifically if you ever have a problem. All right? If you ever have a problem, make sure you're very specific about what that problem is. Because guess what? When if you're specific, I could fix it real easy. I could adjust the lesson for your personal situation if I think everybody can benefit from it. But it definitely needs to be specific. I like that he said it clear, right? And we can definitely move forward with that. Full-time job. Full-time job is a really hard one. All right? That's going to be hard for everybody. I guarantee you. If you got a full-time job, this is going to be a little difficult, but at least you're responsible. All right, so see, now I know she's female. My bad, you know. But definitely, I'm looking out for you. Okay, I'm gonna be looking out for your work because you're caught in the middle, right? And I want to see where that goes. All right, so I'm gonna be watching yours very closely. Now let's continue. All right, we're moving on to our next slide. All right, the goal. All right, and just let you know that picture on the right is actually me, right? In Maury's Family Adventure mode. All right. So the goal is we must keep new writers, artists on track and stop them from being distracted while inspiring people who have done the work but haven't found the success they thought they would receive, right? It's simple. This is the main goal of this entire course is we must keep writers and artists on track and stop them from being distracted while inspiring people who have done the work but haven't found the success they thought they would receive. All right? But success is kind of a tricky thing because you might he said sometimes certain things you don't notice could really be the key factor as to why a book decides not to get hot, right? Maybe your messaging is off. Maybe your audience is very specific, but you messaged for something else. Like a good example would be my story is about black Egyptians, right? I could talk about the story and say, hey, look how awesome Egypt is, right? And focus my entire pitch and marketing plan on Egypt, right? But in reality, the people who are the most concerned about my story are black parents because they want their kids to see something historical, something from ancient Africa, and it happens to be my story is in Egypt, right? That's the happens to. It's not something that is the main thing people support it for. They support it because it's a black epic story about history, and they feel like their kids need this. All right. So if I had done a marketing plan and a messaging for Egypt, it might not have nearly took off as much as a marketing plan about historical accuracy and teaching things that are hidden from society. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes it's just a simple word that we're focusing on that actually messes up the entire business plan. All right, so we're gonna fix that for you, okay? Now, here's a book that I want you to get, all right? Get it digitally or go to your local Barnes& and Noble. I guarantee you your local Barnes& and Noble has this book, all right? This is one of the most popular writing books ever. And it's about screenwriting, but really it's about just telling a story that sells, okay? We need people to sell, all right? This is the only way you're going to be a writer for life is if you're actually, you know, making some kind of monetary gain from it, right? Because if you're not making money, you won't have the time or manpower to continue to make more books. You just won't. You'll hit a wall. So we need to make sure that you're telling stories that will sell. It's your story, all right? It's your story. It's not anybody else's. It's yours. And your story can be made so that people are basically fighting to get to it. All right, but you need the principles of what makes a story relatable, exciting, and gets them coming for more. All right, this book, Save the Cat by Blake Snyder. This is the book. Get this book. All right, this is the only book I'm going to assign you in this entire course. All right, because I just have a lot of lessons that coincides with Save the Cat. So I definitely feel like you should get that in order to understand some of the principles I'm going to be teaching, like the log line, the summary, the beat sheet, these things in order to create our story and not get caught in basically. All right, can you hear me now? I believe you can, but it might be a little loud. So let me go and turn it down a bit. All right, are we good? Oh, let me go up. All right. Save the bike. All right. All right. That's a good joke right there. All right. Specs Vision gets extra points.
All right. Special victims get extra points. All right, so let's get back into it. All right, so get this book. All right, this book is just God mode. All right, that's all I'm gonna say about it. It's God mode. A lot of our homework is gonna be based on Save the Cat. A lot of the principles we're gonna teach about writing is going to be in Save the Cat. So definitely get it. Okay. All right, so let's continue forward. All right, so here's the principle, right? And I basically have Geb talking to Asar in this picture in order to basically emphasize, right? It said emphasize this point, all right? The point is the only thing you need to do is sell, all right? Every single decision you make must increase your ability to sell, all right? So the book is the preparation, right? Your book, the book that you're making, right? It's a preparation. The sale is the career and the path to freedom. So when you start selling more books, when you start understanding the principles of selling and the way you can market your book to be something that people need, that's when you're going to have absolute freedom to actually do things. You won't need the 9 to 5 anymore because you're going to be making plays on your own. You're going to be going to shows across the nation. You're going to be doing offer visits, all this stuff because your focus and the reason why you wrote was because you were trying to sell. Now, I can't be in here with no. So let's go over a couple of the misconceptions that we've had, right? Let's see. There's some things I know that some of you say, right? And there's some things that I know people have told me, right? And I want to go over them. And then I'm going to let you guys give me more examples of some counter narratives that you've heard from what I just said, right? Which is you need to write to sell, right? That's the whole purpose. In order to make a good book, you need to write it to sell it. So here's some common counter narratives that I've heard over the years. All right, I don't worry about selling. I just want to tell my story to everyone. All right. So what I usually think when someone tells me this is this: without influence, no one will know your story exists. All right. So in other words, if nobody's talking about your story, if nobody owns your story and can share it with their friends and stuff like that, if no one's reviewing your story, then you didn't really tell a story for everyone because no one has it. You understand? So what we got to do is get it into people's hands. And the only way we know for a fact that they're going to read our book is if they paid for it, right? When people get a free book, right? When you get a free book, you might not read it. You just might not. But if you paid at least $5, guess what? You're gonna feel obligated to read that book. So having a price tag and selling it is extremely important. It gets influence up. Influence changes hands. You'll get referrals. You'll get new friends. You'll get people who call you eventually, trying to get you some places. You'll get offers. All these cool things happen when you're selling books. Then the next one is they are going to love my story because it is so different. All right? This is a dangerous one. It says, too different can be devastating if no one can relate to what you are writing. So basically, I always say this: no matter what story you're making, people have to be able to relate to the characters. All right? So it could be the craziest story in the world, but if the characters are relatable, people will go on the journey with them. Now, if they have no clue how to relate to these characters because it's like extra dimensional, just some crazy wild stuff, right? Then what happens is people get turned off really quick because they can't be put themselves in the main character's shoes. All right, so it's very important that we're not too different from the norm that people have no clue how to proceed. All right, and then we got the final one on here that says, I'm not that kind of person. I don't know how to talk to people. And all I got to say to that is, you will learn. All right? You'll learn. Trust me. Everyone has a hard time talking to people. and getting into that conversation mode and talking about their story, explaining it really fast. Everybody starts off that way. But once you've practiced, right? And once you've gone to a few shows and got obliterated, all right? First couple shows you're going to, you're going to get obliterated. You're going to see people doing astronomically better than you. But that experience is going to teach you what you need to say, how you need to approach people, how you need to talk to them and reach out to them. And guess what? After a while, you're going to be freaking lighting it up, man. You're going to be one of the life of the party no matter where you go, whenever you feel like being the life of the party. All right? So trust me, just because you're not that kind of person right now doesn't mean you won't be a little bit later. Now, you guys, I want to hear from you. I'm looking at the comments section right now. All right? What are some arguments you've heard, right, from people who are not concerned about selling? Because I'm here to teach you how to make a living off of making books. I'm not here to teach you about how to write a book that will go nowhere in life. I want that book to sell. I want you to go to shows, and I want you to be successful. All right? So that's the goal. So what are some things you've heard in the past that were feel-good things but didn't necessarily improve you? Ah, look at that. Bella Manning says, I love speaking. I just need a product to sell, which is this book. See? You got a speaker right here. You got somebody who's social, right? And a social person will have a much better time with this course. Trust me. Because it's one of the main hurdles we're going to be working with you guys on how to get over. How to make ourselves likable. How to talk to people and get into the space. And do it where they appreciate you in their space. You know? Because we can get in someone's space and they could hate us for it. But we want to get it to where we're in the middle of 8, 9 strangers, right? And they're all looking at us like, wow, I love this idea, right? And now they're all friends, just like that. Instant change, you know? Let's see what else we got here. Oh, Scribbler Jones just gave me a really good one. Hey, what's up, Scribbler? By the way, I haven't seen you in a minute, man. All right, Scribbler Jones says, you're not a real artist if you're trying to make money from being an artist. What? Think about that statement for a second. You're not, this is something artists get told. So actual artists get told this all the time. They're saying they shouldn't focus on making money, you know, to be an artist. That makes no sense, all right? Everybody has family, all right? Especially if you have a wife and kids or something like that. You can't just go around spending your free time working to death and not making anything from it, right? That's financial burdens. You know what a financial burden is. It messes up everything. It messes up your relationships. It messes up your schedules and times, and your stress level goes up. You need something to offset that. And this is a really good one that I love. You're not a real artist if you're trying to make money from being an artist. That is something that has been told to artists over and over and over again to hustle them. They want them to work for free. And your job is not to work for free. Your job is to get paid. All right, so Gut says, I tell myself, as long as I can create something, I can be better. That's actually nothing wrong with that. I have no argument against that statement. That statement right there makes perfect sense. It's true. If you can make something, you can be better, right? Let's make sure that also scales. All right, so let's see. This is my first time. My experience in ministry and party collections have helped me learn how to people. Okay, good. I'm looking at these stories right now, and I'm getting really good ones. Ah, so the Gentile said, I am inspired by J.K. Rowling's story on how she was rejected. All right. J.K. Rowling is a good example of someone, right, who I feel, you know, got super lucky. They're good. She's good. She's good at what she does. But she wrote a book for 5 years. 5 years. That's dangerous. I want you guys done in 3 months. All right? I really do. 5 years is dangerous. She had the time. She had the time. She had a very unique situation where she had extremely long train rides throughout her entire career. Like she was used to having hours of time riding on a train, so she had time to write. Most of us do not have that kind of schedule in our lives. So all I have to say is when we're looking at J.K. Rowling, make sure that we are understanding some of the things that she's done and how she had the opportunities, to pull that off. Right? We might have not have that much time on our hands to work on something that long. You know, because she has done amazing things. All right, nothing to take away from what she's done, and she is kicking butt. Yeah, yeah, she wrote for 5 years. The first Harry Potter book was 5 years after she started writing about Harry Potter. So, all right. All right. So, how many panels do you put down in each page? Oh, so Edwin has a very specific question about panels. It's entirely up to you. All right. All I say is this: the older the reader, right? So if your reader is much older, then more panels. If your reader is much younger, less panels. All right. So in other words, if you're writing a comic book for kids 7 to 12 years old, 3 to 5 panels per page. It's comfortable. If you got people who are dang near adults, you might as well, if you want to give them 8 panels on the page for whatever reason, you can. All right, look at Black Sands. There's a lot of panels in some of those pages. Selling feels slimy. It does at first until you start getting those reviews on Facebook where people talk about how they gave their books to a kid, to their son or their daughter, and then their child couldn't stop talking about it, and the amount of excitement the parent has because the kids doesn't even like comic books, but now they do because they have heroes that look like them. That's when selling no longer becomes something that you feel is slimy, and now it becomes something that you have to do to change the world. You understand? You got to change the world. Watch the Prophet, or Shark Tank. When people are making profits and they're positive, those people jump all over them because they love companies who are not only looking to do good in the world, but also are economically viable to scale. Because now they can do a lot more good, right? You could do good as a small community organizer, but if you become the president of the United States, then you could do a heck of a lot more good. You understand what I'm saying? So, shout out to Obama. So, that's all I'm trying to say. We got to be able to get it. All right. So now let's go into the next one. The fringe benefits of selling, right? All right. These are key benefits to selling according to Manuel Godoy. This is my personal belief, all right? This might not be what the mainstream says or whatever, but these are the things that I truly believe, all right? Because honestly, money isn't everything, all right? Influence. The more people own your book, the wider your network of readers get, all right? You won't believe how many times my comics, my novels, children's books have been passed around to family members, to friends, to offices, to schools, right? They hand them around. As a result, people know me before I even come to their state. I've never come to their state before ever. And I go to a show and they're like, yo, that's Black Sands. I've seen that before right there. You know? Influence. Respect, all right? First of all, somewhere down the line, you're going to run into people in the industry. And the industry people have ways to get you to get more money, to have a career and all that other stuff. But the only thing they're going to respect about you, they won't care about your story. They won't care about anything you do. The only thing they'll care about are your numbers. They're going to say, what's your numbers, right? They're going to say either, how many books have you sold? Or, how many people have booked you before as a guest, or another one is how many social media followers engage in your actions and activities. They're trying to measure you, all right? They want to measure you. And if you can show them some great numbers, and just let you know, selling 2,000 books, all right, in a year is considered great. That's great for an independent writer, okay? So it's not unattainable. It is possible to get out there right off the bat. But if you can show numbers, people will respect you more. They'll invite you to events that you normally wouldn't never even know they existed, right? And doors will open. Very important to have your numbers right. And the last thing is freedom. All right, economic freedom means you can take more risk. All right, you want to make that 300-page fantasy epic? You're not going to make it in this course, but you might make it in 6 months or 2 years from now once you've established yourself as a writer, right? After getting a few books out successfully, you can do whatever you want, right? And I'm going to give you a good example. Stephen King. Stephen King makes all those horrors and stuff, right? But you best believe he was making very, very, very safe books when he first started his career. And once he got established, he started making those hardcore, crazy stories that you can't even follow. That you read the entire thing, watch the entire thing, and you still, at the end of the dang book, have no clue what the hell is going on. But you, if that was his first kind of books, he'd have been done. All right? Think of it this way. H.P. Lovecraft, all right? And look at this. H.P. Lovecraft. All right, let me go write this down so you guys know who I'm talking about. H.P. Lovecraft. This guy is famous now, all right? He used to write the most crazy horror stuff back in the day, right? He died poor and miserable. He didn't have no money, nothing. He died like Nikola Tesla. He had huge contributions to modern day society, but got none of the credit, all right? He said he always wrote from his heart, right? And only like almost 100 years after his death did people start saying, yo, this stuff was amazing and incredible. We need to write more of this stuff. Stuff like Game of Thrones, stuff like other things have been inspired heavily by Lovecraft stuff, right? Yet he never had anything in his own life from his work. And all I'm saying from this is this. Maybe if he wrote normal stuff at first in order to establish himself as a writer, right, in the industry, when he decided to make that hardcore, eldritch, super hardcore dark stuff that he was making, people would have given him more eyes on it. They would have respected it more, and as a result, he probably would have had a very successful career. But he didn't do that. He went straight to the crazy stuff right off the bat. And most people thought he was crazy. They didn't even give him a chance. And now everybody's copying him 100 years later. Maybe I'll link some videos about who he is. But that dude was a pretty crazy guy. All right. But he could write his behind off, man. He's a legend in horror and dark fantasy. He is a legend in it. Legend. Ain't make a dime in his life. So we want to make sure that at least we're happy. We're happy when we're working, and the only way we can be happy is by being economically sound, by being able to provide for our families, and by getting into the inner circles in order to be respected. Once we have the respect and we have all that, we can start writing what we truly are passionate about, and people will give it a chance. They didn't give him a chance. They just buried him. They didn't give him a chance at all. And he probably would have been one of the most successful writers out there nowadays if they just gave him a chance, but they didn't. Yes. So Takeo Fallen has a good question. So are you saying that we might have to scale down our ideas if it is outside the box? No, if it's outside the box, that's fine, all right? But it has to have enough inside the box for people to relate to it, all right? So let's say you want to make a story about the craziest alternate dimension you could think of with like with super color people, right? Super color people. Nobody has a race. They're all like colors of the hue, right? Maybe that's not so crazy if the main character is a kid who has bad parents and as a result is feeling emotionally scarred because now we can relate to that character even though he doesn't even have a skin color. He's a blue rainbow or something like that. Like it's a wild idea for a world, but the main character is relatable. We can follow that main character, right? We can follow him and go through the journey with that character. So when I'm saying out the box, I mean everything can't be out the box, right? Like something has to be relatable and something that we can see ourselves in order to basically give that book a chance. If we can't see ourselves in that situation, we're kind of already disconnected from it. I have no clue, Nandy, how many words that is. We're going to find out a little later because I'm going to tell you how many words each kind of novel is worth. Children's books, comic books. Some of you are going to want to make comic books. It's expensive, but you can do it. Some of you are going to make children's books. Children's books are extremely easy to make, but they're more about the marketing plan than anything. So with a children's book, you have to have an idea more than anything else. All right, ideas. That's very important with children's books. The theme, the way you're reaching out to a parent and a child, right? The parent has to be excited that they bought it. The child has to be excited to read it. Sometimes you make something so awesome that the kids have to read it, right? But the parent don't like it because they don't like dragons, right? They don't like fantasy elements. So you don't know. You gotta balance the two, right? Because parents might not agree with the theme that you're making these kids giggle and laugh about. That's what YouTube did. YouTube about a year ago purged all the bad baby videos from YouTube. They just purged them all. There was a big theme going around for bad babies. Basically, people would act like bad babies. Bad babies would throw stuff, do nasty things. It was very nasty. But children couldn't stop watching it, right? Because they were like, oh, this is so entertaining to see this stuff. But parents were freaking mortified. They wanted their kids to not see that at all, but they couldn't block the channels. There was no feature for that back then. So what YouTube did was, after so much outcry, they killed all the bad baby pages. They just killed them. They just erased them from the face of the earth. And it was crazy that it happened. It was a wide scale purge. And the people who weren't doing bad baby videos, like let's say, what's that dude's name? The little Asian kid? Ryan Toy Reviews. Ryan Toy Reviews never did any bad baby videos. He did playing with his parents, doing whatever he was. Before the purge, he was just an average YouTuber, all right? He was doing good, but he wasn't dominating. After the purge, right, when they said this is just bad, by parents considered it bad, even though the kids loved it. He became the phenomenon. Ryan's Toy Reviews became the standard for children's freaking entertainment. Overnight he dominated because no one was left. All the bad guys lost their credibility, right? And we want to make sure that when we tell our stories, we have credibility on our side, right? So let's get that credibility up. Let's win this. Now, the Gentile asked a good question. So, should I start with my epic fantasy novel now or something smaller? I think you should start your epic fantasy novel now and make it a shorter book. All right? So make it a series. Make it a series. I think your first book, and this is my goal for everybody, if you're writing a novel, 40,000 words, no more. No more than 40,000 words and you're going to be great, all right? A 40,000 word book is about 116 pages long. So it's still a good sized book. You could sell it for $10 to $15, right? And You're gonna have amazing time. It's gonna be attainable. It's something you could do. So 100, it said 116 words is a really good book. Sons in the Bureau was 116 pages, right? 40,000 words. So that's my goal for you. Okay, write your fantasy novel. All right, 40,000 words for part one. All right, and make sure to end it on a good cliffhanger so people want part two. Now, this is the challenge, all right? This is the challenge for the next class, all right? This is the homework, all right? I already sent you the homework. If check your emails, all right? Check your emails and check your promotional tab if you're on Gmail, all right? Or your spam folder. If you find my email from M. Godoy, right? Black Sands Entertainment, and move it to your inbox. You're gonna need that because you're gonna get a lot of emails from me about homework. The first homework assignment was already sent to you, all right? It was sent to you about 30 minutes before this course began. But basically what we're gonna be talking about is read chapter 1 of Save the Cat and begin working on log lines for your first book, all right? Basically what I'm expecting from you is 3 ideas, all right? 3 ideas for books. These are the books that you're planning on writing. You can use 6 too. It doesn't matter if you use 3 or 6. But these are the options you're going to give yourself for this entire course. All right? Once you have your 3 ideas, I need you to make 3 separate log lines or summaries, right? Log lines about each book. Okay? So if your idea is, hey, in a world with dragons and empires, this one guy finds out that he's half dragon blood. I need 3 different pitches for that book, right? If that's your book, right? I need 3 different pitches for that, and I need 3 for every single concept of a book that you're planning on making. The reason why you're going to make this is because in our next class, we're going to be talking about what makes a good log line, what makes for an interesting story, and how do we tell our story in 2 sentences. And once you look at your work on Wednesday, you're going to be like, what do you know? This one right here is the most interesting story out of all the concepts I've created. It sounds impressive. I could write something really awesome about this, and I'm going to choose this one to focus all of my time in the next 3 months to work on. But you won't be able to do that until next week. Until Wednesday. So let's get those things done first, all right? Well, actually, Noreen, African Queen, right? Can you help me with what a log line is? This is what's going to do. When you look at the homework, right? So go to your emails, right? Especially if you signed up for our homework, and look at the email I just sent you guys before before this class began. It's gonna say download homework here. Basically, it's just a Google document that says everything there. It gives you an example of a log line for Black Sands, the 7 Kingdoms. It gives you variations of that log line. And then it tells you the definition of what a log line is and instructions for the homework. All right, so I did cover that in the homework. It tells you exactly what the log line is. Let me go see if I can pull it up so I can tell you. All right, so let me look at this, okay? Basically what I said was a log line or log line is a brief, usually 1 or 2 sentences, summary of a television program, film, or book that states central conflict of the story, often providing both a synopsis of the story's plot, an emotional hook to stimulate interest, and 1-sentence program summary in a TV guide is a log line. So in other words, if you look at a TV guide, right? The TV guide, or maybe the guide on your television for your shows, they're gonna give you like a 1-sentence explanation of an entire series. That's a log line. All right. So that's what I need you guys to work on for homework. Now, the course is over. I'm taking the next 5 minutes to answer any questions you have about what we just went over in the last 50 minutes. Oh yeah, let me get you that link for the mailing list. So here we go. Boom, 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 boom. And there. There is the mailing list. Ah, see? So Nandy said, yes, wait, we have to have this homework completed by Wednesday. Absolutely. I'm going to work you to death. All right? All the homework assignments are going to be small. They're going to be very small homework assignments. Stuff that you could do in 15 to 30 minutes. All right? It's simple. Because there's 36 lessons, because there's 36 lessons across the line, I'm trying to give you something that's going to get you to physically do something so you can remember it, you can apply it, and you can move forward and actually keep it, retain the information that I'm teaching you. When you get to week 3, you're going to start writing. You're going to write a hell of a lot. So I can't give you much homework because the writing is going to take up most of your free time. All right? So expect small homework assignments that are mainly just there for you to give practical practice in what I'm teaching you. All right? So this one we're going to be working on log lines. And if you read Save the Cat, right at the beginning of the book, it talks about log lines. You know, if you read that, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's what a log line is. I've been messing it up for years." You know, but it's the ultimate way to sell an idea. Okay, let's see. What other questions do we have? Let's see. Dang, that's all. That's a lot of questions. All right. Okay. You say book a lot. You say book a lot, and that's good. The number of single issue comics, if 2,000 for a book is good. You say book a lot, but what is good number for a single issue comic if 2,000 for a book is good?
You want to know how many pages you have to have to complete a comic.
You talking about how much money
Mm-mm.
it cost?
How many
Well, he
pages?
said if 2,000 for a book is good. I think he's talking about the cost of to make a comic. Comic scale based on page. All right. So if you get, let's say you get $100 per page in order to make a book, right? I mean a comic. If you have 32-page comic, that's $3,200. You understand? So it's as simple as that. If you have a budget, I always say set your budget in stone, and then look for people that will work for that budget. All right. So you're like, hey, I only got $5,000 to spend on a comic book. Then divide your pages up into 5,000, and figure out what that budget will be, and then ask around and see if that's gonna work for you. All right. All right. Guts Masterson says, should we or should we not deter ourselves with our own writing or our own notes from Save the Cat? You should read Save the Cat and take as much value out of that as possible. All right. Do not worry about that distracting you from what I'm going to teach you. All right. If you want to read the whole damn book, go right ahead. All right. It'll only help. It will not hurt you. What if I can't come up with an emotional hook? That is for next class, okay? So Wednesday, we're gonna go over what makes a great log line. And once we go over that, guess what? You're gonna easily be able to add an emotional hook. All right? But right now, you might not be able to. But once you see a whole bunch of examples, you're gonna be like, you know what? I could add an emotional hook into this. Let's see, what else? All right, so he says Gentile has 244 pages for his first book, which is only halfway through, and the story will be about 3 books. Do you recommend turning it into a series? Well, first of all, if you wrote 244 pages of anything, that needs to be released. Should it be a series? Absolutely. But in order for it to be a series, you might need to go and reorganize your book right now as it stands, so that the end of the book make somebody want to go further. All right, because maybe if at the halfway point it doesn't really end, right? It's like the middle of a story. You have to basically make each story feel like a complete story in and of itself, right? That has something to look forward to. All right, so that's how we're going to work on that. That's a very interesting situation though, because that's a lot of work already done on something. All right. Edwin Burgo says comic book lengths. How many pages should it be? Completely up to you. It could be 100 pages. It could be 24 pages. Completely up to you. Black Sands issue 1 was 20 pages. All right. Issue 2 was 24. Issue 3 was 32. All right. So I tend to keep mine shorter because I use extremely expensive and time consuming art All right, so it takes a long time to do because it's so detailed. All right, but if you're making a black and white manga, you can go for a higher page count. It really depends on what you want to do. No, no problem, Green. We got you. Okay. So I'm glad you're excited. We're gonna make this happen. All right. Will you resend the homework for people who just signed up? Yes, I will be resending this email. Okay. So I'm going to. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to give you the link right now to the homework. Okay. So Google Docs. Let's share this. Let's get this email. I'm gonna pin this comment. I'm gonna pin this comment into the video afterwards, so that everybody who comes to this late will be able to just straight up click this link in order to download the homework assignment for this class. Okay? So that's that one. Now let's see. Let's see. Is Patreon still available? Yes. Join our Patreon. All right. If you want to join our Patreon, please do so. That will help us out. It's just $5 a month, right? And the best part is you're helping us stay in business and keep doing awesome lessons like this and creating other products as well. You know, so you also get critiques on the weekends. I can't critique everybody's work. So there's 130 people in here right now. So I can't critique everybody's work, but I can critique patrons, right? So on Saturdays and Sundays, I will be reviewing whoever is taking my course in Patreon. I'll be slightly reviewing their work. It'll still be a quick review, but at least you'll have me looking at it and maybe helping you adjust some things if you have anything wrong with it. Let's see. I have a confession to make. Uh-oh, Nanny got a confession to make. Let's see what she says. I don't know exactly what I'm doing as to why I'm here. I signed up for other webinars. They gave partial info and charged $500, $600. Well, exactly. You know exactly why you're here then, Nandy. Because this is absolutely free. I'm live. I'm not doing some stupid recorded video, right? I'm live. I'm here. I'm taking questions, and I'm assigning homework. All that for free. That's why you're here. And I'm glad you're here, all right? I've seen all these scams. I've seen people charge $400 for 4 vague lesson plans, right? They're like, oh, look at me. I did so many awesome things. Listen to my pre-recording, right? And then nothing happens in your career. This is 90 days of intense work, all right? And by the end of it, you should be way better than you were before. And, you know, trust me, I'm not doing it out of the kindness of my heart. I need soldiers, all right? I need you guys to feel like I have truly hooked you up in life, right? So that if I throw a Kickstarter or if I have to make something, right? I have to make something grand or something, right? You guys are going to be there to support me when it happens because I've been blowing you away with amazing content and training you so that you could do it yourself, all right? This is not, that's my social contract with you. That's my social contract with all the people in here, is that I'm hooking you up because one day I'm going to need you, right? And you're going to hook me up too, right? Because that's how we work. Basically, this is a new friendship building between me and you, and hopefully you will freaking learn something that all those $500, $600, or $30,000 degrees in creative writing will never give you, all right? And that is a career in the entertainment world, all right? That's how much a creative writing degree in most of America will cost you, at least $30,000. And they ain't gonna teach you a damn thing about selling. Let's see what else we got. I have a pseudonym. How I market my books without showing my face, or how do I transition from a pseudonym into myself? Oh, so this is more of the pen name, right? You made a pen name for your book. That's a little tricky. I honestly can't tell you what to do in that situation. If the book has controversial stuff that you don't want to own yourself, right? Then there's really not much you can do besides do online marketing, right? Online marketing is all you could possibly do. You obviously can't go out there and do a book signing or go to shows and sell personally, because then you expose yourself as the writer of the book, right? But if it's something that you could be proud of, right, then definitely transition to it being you, right? All right. So a question is, what days are you going to go live and what time? I'm going to be going live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time. Every time. All right. The only time I won't, I'll be sending you emails letting you know that it's moved to like a Saturday or a Sunday. Usually because I tour a lot, right? Me and my wife, we go on tour all the time, right? And if I'm on tour on that Friday and I can't make that class, I'll let you know, right? Oh, okay. Well, okay, issues sold, not cost. So I guess I was answering that question wrong. Uh, if you sell 1,000 or 2,000 comics and literally sell them in a year, you are successful. Trust me. All right. I have people who've written for Marvel, DC, and everything else. They say that is very successful. All right. That's what they say. All right, and they know. They've been working there for 30 years. They know. So if you can sell 1,000 or 2,000 copies of your book of your comic books, you've done very, very, very well with your comic. Anything about copyrights that will be discussed? Yes. Once you figured out your idea, I'm going to be going to legal, I think, in week 2. In week 2, I think we're going to be talking about things you need to prepare for in order to protect your idea. Will the workload be larger if we are doing both the artwork and writing by ourselves? If you're doing the artwork and writing by yourself, you shouldn't make a giant thing, right? You should make like a 20 page to 32 page comic book if you're going to make a comic book where you're drawing it and writing it. You shouldn't write no damn 64 or 90 or 100 page comic book because you're going to kill yourself. All right? So so do that, all right? Let's see. How many characters should you start with, or does that matter? All right, so basically, we'll go over this later on when we're creating our story. But basically, you should have one main character and one main villain, right? That's it. Main protagonist, main antagonist, and that's it. That's the only thing you should be worrying about right now at this part in the game. Okay? Maybe by Friday, we'll go deeper into the development of the story. If you want software, a thing that I use for writing, especially for planning, is CeltX. All right, software. All right, cool free software. Cool free software for writing screenplays. CeltX. All right, I love CeltX. Yeah, absolutely. Do a digital comic first before you print it. If you can't afford to print yet, don't. You can do a lot of damage with digital stuff. When will we get advice for book covers and etc? That'll probably be in week 3 or so, right? It's not something that we're going to go over right away. Although what I will be talking about early is clickbait. All right, this is the stuff that gets people to pick up your book in the first place. So covers will be covered in that area because covers are extremely important in the sale of your book. All right, extremely important. Like one of the top reasons why anybody would buy your book in the first place. There you go. Giselle knows numbers. See, Giselle just gave some information. I'm saying it out loud. She said the artists charge around $70 to $200 per page.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're looking at.
Yep.
So choose comic books and children's books with caution. All right, because it can get very expensive quick. And we're going to be discussing on how to make a business plan for our book very soon. Because I don't want you guys saying, I'm going to make a comic book. And then you do the math and you go, holy crap, I don't have $6,000. Right? Like, I don't want that to be the reality you're going to have in this course. So 100% I want you guys to be prepared. So that's going to be very early. We're going to be making an actual business plan for your particular book. All right? Let's see. Do you recommend both writing and art, or should I consider getting help? I always say consider getting help. You know, I hate the idea of doing so much of the work by yourself. It slows you down too much, so you can't hit your milestones, right? And if you are successful, right? If you are successful, you can't scale. You're still gonna be working slow as dirt, right? Because you had to do everything. What everybody's demanding your work now because it was so cool, and you can't get it out to them because you have all the responsibility of the job. So I always say work as a team. One of our early courses are going to be about recruitment and how to build a team properly. So I would wait. I would wait when it comes to developing your story. Right now, make sure you have a good idea what the story is with your log lines. Get ideas out. All right. This is a process, and it's going to happen really fast. Remember, there's 3 courses per week. So all you have to do is follow the guides. It's going to be very rapid and very quick. By the end of week 2, we should not only have the idea for what book we're writing, we should have the entire beat sheet for the book. So we should know exactly what happens at the beginning, the middle, and the end. We should know the entire change of the main character in the story arc. We should be implementing all these amazing things and features. We should be having an entire business plan for our book, how we're going to sell it, what audience we're going to target, what team members we're going to need in the future in order to complete the book, what services we should use to print the book. All these things we're going to learn the first 2 weeks because this is the setup. This is the setup, right? And then from week 3 all the way to the end of the course, you're going to be grinding your behind off actually working on your book while learning cool business principles. All right? Now let's see. Yeah, go get the old version of Celt X. Let me tell you which version I have. So let's see. Celt X 2.91. All right, so go look up this on Google, right? Look this up on Google in order to get the free one. Celt X version 2.91. All right? You're going to have to download that from some shady site or whatever. But basically, Celtx version 2.91 is the free one. I use it for everything. Okay? I use it for everything. All my freaking episodes of Black Sands were written in Celtx. Let's see. All right, so Jackson said he wants to do the art for someone's books. So check him out. He might be somebody you want to work with. All right? There are going to be artists who are also going to be joining us from time to time, and I do encourage that you check out the artists that show up in our videos, right? Check out their pages. I'm going to be highlighting, and this is on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm going to be interviewing professionals in the industry, professionals that do commissions, professionals who don't do commissions but they go to shows and kick butt. And in those interviews, you're going to be able to see what it takes to be in the industry, what it takes to be a great client, right? And what the normal price ranges are for professionals. But by all means, go and check out anybody who says they're artists. Check out their page and see if they're right for you. All right? Because you never know. And then Master Finesse says in the questions, let's see. What's specs? Who's specs? Okay. We should have a class roll sheet so we can network with each other later in life. All right. So specs, there is something for that, right? I'm going to give it to you guys on Friday. All right. On Friday, I'm going to be sharing my Discord server. All right. Discord is basically where all you people can talk on for Black Sands. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can do it right now. Let me see. It's not organized though, so everybody's gonna be in the general chat room. But let me see. Let me see. Let's see. I'm gonna give this to you guys right now. You can sign up and you can start talking in there. All right. So let's see. This one right here. Uh, invite people. Okay. Let's see. Set this link to never expire. All right. This is the forum for our class. All right. There you go. Sign up right now. Sign up right now, all right? Here is your chat room. You can talk right in there with everybody, regardless of what happens. This is the room where you can speak to people in real time and discuss your ideas, maybe work together. I don't care what you do in there. It's my Discord channel for our company. So enjoy it and definitely utilize it, okay? So I'm gonna take a couple more questions and then I'm going to call the night. This was an amazing first class. We had a huge attendance. I really appreciate you guys for coming out. It was a very huge attendance. Make sure to tell your friends. All right. If your friends haven't jumped on this yet, make sure tomorrow when you see them at work or whatever, say, "Yo, you got to get in this class with me because this is too dope." Okay? And get them in here so they can join as well. Remember, the number one thing you should say is not only follow Black Sands Entertainment, but hit that notifications button so that they can get notifications when the classes happen, whether they're in their car or whatever. They know that the live video is on its way. All right? So let's see. We'll talk about that a little later, Ray. But basically, I always tell people it's more important to release your first story than it is to just continue an epic forever. All right? We want to make sure that we do it right. Oh yeah, and for everybody who's talking about the troll who was calling me a coon, right? Guess what, guys? You got him banned. So Google just messaged me and said we removed this person because they were violating the terms. So congratulations, guys. You guys just policed my page because I wasn't gonna ban him. I don't like banning people, but you guys got him taken out because of your proactiveness to protect me from people who come here only to insult us. All right. So thank you very much for doing that. All right. Nandy, what book are you talking about? Can you explain that? It says, "Wait, I asked about the name of the book." Of book. What book? Yep. So I hope everybody joined the Discord server. Right. Here it is again for those who haven't. That's the Discord link. Join it. Join the team. Right now we have close to 25 people on there that moved over to our Discord server. That's our forum, okay? It's our private forum for this class. That's where you'll be able to talk to your friends, to our new friends that we've made in this course, and you can we can all grow together over there. If you need to talk to people about ideas, If you need to do all that, go in there and do it. It was supposed to be only for my patrons, right? But I'm opening up for you guys because you guys really wanted to have a place where you could talk to each other. So there you go. It's right there. And if you can, please support us on Patreon so that we can continue to maintain all these different servers and classes and everything else. And I just want to say good night and thank you so much for your time. And I will see you on Wednesday. And I'll probably be reviewing a couple of people's ideas live again on YouTube. See you later.